Hey everybody, welcome back to Hart Talks. So as the title of this episode shows, I'm talking about coming out. Now, I was one of those people that just thought there are so many coming out videos. You know, there's been so many celebrities come out, there's been so many YouTubers that have come out, and I must admit, I did start to think, why, you know, I was getting a bit sick of them until I started watching them. And then I realised that each coming out video has a similar story, but a different story, if that makes sense. If you're confused, carry on watching, because you will be soon. In a way, I feel my coming out story was simple, because I came out to my friends. My friends were my family, because I didn't have family around me at the time. Anybody that's watched my videos knows that I was adopted, and that my adopted family weren't in my life, and my birth family were in my life, but they lived 5 hours away. So, you know, there wasn't a lot of contact at all. So yeah, my coming out was to my friends, and I remember being absolutely petrified, you know, to tell them to come out. You know, I was petrified work-wise as well. I was like, that will affect my career, you know. So I had all the same strong feelings. I just didn't have the mum and dad standing there, you know, and telling them at that time, you know. So it was hard and it was scary, and yes, some friends took it well and other friends were not so good. It was 24 years ago, you know, so it was a long time ago. And I remember for months and months and months I struggled with thinking about telling and almost telling and going to tell and then not telling, and you know, months and months and months, you know, that went on for. So you'll know when you're ready. I eventually knew when I was ready, because I was just sick of lying to people that I loved and cared about. I was just like, I need to be honest with you, and I need to tell you that this is who I am, and for me this is normal. I remember Ellen DeGeneres came out in 1997 and how it affected her career. You know, she was dropped. She could not get comedy gigs, she couldn't get television work, she was dropped. And I always remember that, and I remember thinking, were the things that I'd been brought up and been told as I was brought up, as you know, that being gay is wrong, being gay is evil, kind of made me flash back to that and think, gosh, is that true? Like all good things, you know, things come round, and obviously Ellen now is a superstar and has done so much for human rights and for people in need, and you know, she's just, I love her to bits. I think she's amazing. She's one of those good people in the world. But her coming out was just, it was the biggest thing I can remember. But obviously since then there's been so many more. There's been Tom Hardy, there's been Wentworth Miller, there's been Gus Kenworthy, there's been the girl out of Juno, Ellen Page. You know, there's been loads, you know, they're just naming a few. So, and all their stories have something that is very similar, obviously, because we're talking about the same subject, but something that is individual, or that can be individual to somebody that's struggling with it, or that somebody that is going through it with a loved one. And that's when I realised that although I'd got a bit sick of hearing about all these people coming out, because I kept thinking, well, why do they have to do it? I realised that they have to do it because they have to tell their story. And I know I'm always saying that you have a right to tell your story, and they had to tell their stories, and their stories are important and vital for other people. So for all the people that have made coming out videos, this is a shout out to you guys, because it's an important and brave and honest and strong thing to do, and this video is more about that, you know, than really my story, because my story seems quite, you know, I came out to my friends and then years later I came out to my family, you know, and coming out to my family wasn't, I came out to my birth family at my aunt's funeral, so it wasn't the ideal setting, but it was many years later. It was 15 years after I'd come out, and it was very easy. That might have been because I drank 3 pints of cider before lunchtime, but it was a lot easier. But my cousin, always remember my cousin who I came out to, his response was just, it was kind of stunned for a couple of minutes, and then he just went, okay, yep, that's fine, you know, bless him, you know. And then I came out to my adopted mum around that time as well. I saw her, bumped into her, and she said, why aren't you married? Why haven't you met the right girl? Why haven't you? And I just said, I'm gay. And she didn't like it, you know. And I thought, all those years later, and so many things had changed. Not only was I a man, you know, I wasn't that little boy anymore, I was a grown-up adult, but her thoughts had stayed the same, but people's thoughts had changed. A lot of people had come round to the idea and realised that it was normality. For us, for me, it's normal, you know, it's my norm, you know, whereas the norm that I had as a kid wasn't normal, because everything I was doing was for the sake of other people, because I was so scared that I would be found out. I had girlfriends, and I actually know that there's a couple of my ex-girlfriends that watch this video, so a shout out to you guys. And those girls made me feel normal, because, you know, I loved being with them. You know, it wasn't that I didn't like, you know, the whole romantic thing, the whole, I liked that, but deep down inside they made me feel normal, because that's what I was told normal was. But it was like this, it felt a bit like a weed that was constantly trying to get through. My gayness was a weed, you know, and it was constantly trying to poke through and say, no, this isn't the norm for you, Stephen. The norm for you is that you're a gay man. And when I accepted that, when I came out at 21 and was able to say I was a gay man, it was so good. And it, you know, I say it was good, but I was still very cautious about who I told. You know, I couldn't have done YouTube at 21. I was not brave enough, you know. And I recently saw a video. It was a guy called Oliver Vlogs, and he did a video with his 5-year-old brother, and it was him explaining to his 5-year-old brother that he was gay. And I'll try and find a link and put it in the description box below. It is the sweetest video you have ever seen. This little boy who's really intelligent, you know, and that's why his older brother told him, because he knew that he could cope with it. But this little boy was just, he was just so understanding, you know. He thought about it for a minute, you know. His older brother said, you know, what would happen if I married a man? And the little boy looked at him and went, I think that would be very, very cool. And you know, it was just like so sweet, because you just thought, that little boy doesn't have any qualms with it, because he hasn't been taught that it's wrong or that he shouldn't be able to be gay, you know. So that is it for this week. Thank you for coming and joining me again. Please remember to like this video. If you liked it, click that thumbs up button, it's just down there, and then just down here is the subscribe button. So I'm really working hard to get the subscribers up, so there's so many people watching the videos that aren't subscribed, so please hit that subscribe button. It really helps. It helps the channel grow, it helps more people know about what I'm doing, and it gives me more of a chance to tell my story. Gus, say goodbye. Okay, everybody, I will see you in 2 weeks' time. Please remember, like, share, comment and subscribe. Tell me about your coming out story. Do you know somebody that's come out? Do you want to come out? Put it all in the comment section below and I would love to hear your story. Wouldn't we, Gus? Say yes. Yes. Okay, see you later. Bye.